It looks like there's an epic throwdown fight.
Life, listen, sometimes with family, it can hit the fan. There's no way that you are gonna have real healing and coming together, coming to Jesus moment, and they're gonna hit the ceiling. And that's what happened.
Well, first of all, you probably have heard this 15 million times, but you are good TV.
Am I?
Yes,
I
indeed.
should do TV.
You should do TV because you are good TV.
Well, thank you.
Well, the premiere, you know, of your new show. You've got the new book, your very first book.
Yes.
Lots going on. You're newly engaged. Good year for you.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Everything is happening right now, and it's meant to be. It just feels right.
Yeah. You feel like you've grown into Porsha?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the book, Pursuit of Porsha, that's what it means. It's in pursuit of my best self, my truest self. And at this moment, I feel powerful in the confidence that I have from whatever, good, bad, and different, just being human and getting to this point, I feel.
Your journey hasn't always been the smoothest, and you talk about that in the book. And you share some really personal stories, like throughout your life. What made you say, okay, I'm gonna write this and it's no holds barred. I'm giving everything.
So around the time of the pandemic starting and everybody kind of just being locked in, you really start to think about what's important to you and self-reflecting. And honestly, at this point, I've realized to know yourself is to love yourself. And I got to know myself. But that journey is my testimony. And when it relates to the show, I've been on TV for 10 years. You know, a lot of my personal life is out there. Yeah, a lot of my personal life is out there. A lot of my followers feel like they truly know me.
Yeah.
But once I really took and looked at my journey and what it has meant to me in becoming who I am today, I felt like it was almost doing the world an injustice to not go deeper and give that other layer of who I am and how I got to where I am today. I wanted to be honest because I wanted the book to be effective in its purpose. And the purpose is to really go dive in and look at those patterns, you know, those pitfalls.
This book could be also called Girl, I Got You, because it's almost like a step-by-step guide for women of what not to do in so many situations.
That is what it's supposed to be. So here's the thing. A lot of choices in my life. I had a very supportive mother who I was very close to, but a part of some of those decision making that I did not run by her is because I didn't want to disappoint her.
Right.
So therefore, I was handling things on my own. I didn't have a big sister. So honestly, in this book, I would love for a young woman or a young man to read these situations that I found myself in and stop their pattern before they have to go through what I went through.
Let's go back to some of the early times when you talked about, because you did like chronicle specific things that really shaped who you were becoming as a woman. The first one was you talked about a boyfriend who sexually assaulted you. Reading that, I felt like I was on that journey. I could almost see it when you said it was so dark. There were no lights. I didn't know. His eyes were black. Like I almost felt like I could be there with you. That had to have been, I mean, terrifying, number one, but then also to have to relive that.
So I decided to relive that moment because there are so many women who have lived it and are still silent. And even me, until 40, have been silent on that. And when I wrote the book, I was very, very, very detailed to take you into that moment. And you know, actually when I did the audio for the book, I couldn't even read that part. My sister had to come in and read that part of the book for me. I wasn't strong enough then to stop this pattern. I wasn't strong enough even 2 years ago to write about or face this pattern. It wasn't until I had therapy and I truly wanted to just face some of those demons and forgive myself because I had done a lot of blaming myself as a victim, blaming that person. And honestly, writing this book was like the longest therapy session ever.
Well, can we talk about what's been making a lot of headlines? R. Kelly. So the patterns of picking toxic men led you to R. Kelly. I mean, in the book you were talking about, you felt like it was very innocent. And part of me was like, was she that naive? Or what was it was it the fame that blinded? What was it that led you there and then actually led you back a few times?
I didn't see myself. I didn't know myself. And like I said, I only saw myself through someone else's eyes. So I just saw myself as a young, pretty girl who could sing that he was interested in. So when you read the book, I start out from my childhood. And I talk about moments where I have literally and figuratively been trapped by people.
Your dad telling you, if you got in trouble, go in this room and don't come out until I tell you to, right?
Right. So in those cases, it brought me back to that practice of being obedient and feeling like you don't have any other option. So it was really, when I think about that situation as a grown woman, I realized how warped my mentality was of who I was and what is supposed to happen to me and what's not supposed to happen to me. It's almost like if you have a child who grows up and they, not me, but if you have someone who's grown up and they've been abused, and then they tell someone, they don't even realize it was abuse.
Right.
That's kind of where I was. I didn't realize that here I am continuing the same act over and over and over again. So when I found myself trapped, it was a mental trap.
I'm sure you think about this because I know she's your world, your daughter.
Yeah.
In writing this, did you think about, she's gonna one day read this, and what do I want her to learn from this?
Ultimately, if something ever happens to me and I have this book left, I hope it blesses her to be smarter in situations. I hope she can stop the pattern, no matter how it develops. So I would love for her to be able to read this book and see that her mommy was a survivor. She can be a survivor. Her mommy was smart. Her mommy was fearless. She just didn't know at these times, and she got taken advantage of, and she made some mistakes. But she can learn it quicker than me. Why would I remember that small bit?
Well, it must have struck her in a way.
It was shade. That's what it was.
So after 9 years, 10 years, you decided you were going to walk away from Housewives. Boo, by the way.
I know.
You talked about this in the first episode of your new show.
When I told my sister I was moving to Atlanta, she was like, what? Nobody has been able to get me to move from Duluth. My home for me has been a manifestation of my independence. This move for me is a believe in Porsha move.
Was your decision based on the new relationship you were in and the connection that it had to last season of Housewives?
No.
No.
No. I had said that
you weren't
I
worried
wanted
that the other ladies were gonna come for you and talk about that?
They come for me every season. They come for me every season. But in actuality, I had started preparing to semi-retire at 40 about 2 to 3 years ago. I have a great finance team. I have a great manager. And once I had my daughter, I knew I wanted to spend more time with her.
Okay.
And so I had started preparing that. It just so happened, I don't know, just divine purpose that at 40 this all happened. So at 40, around that reunion, I realized, I said, you know what? This is the moment. This is the moment to take this break. So I had made that decision right after reunion, had let everybody know around that time. Of course, no one wanted to hear it.
Right.
But I had already made that decision prior to even getting with Simon.
Okay.
But of course, when you break the internet like this, everybody's gonna wanna know what the other girls have to say and what's that gonna look like. So of course I get that everybody would think that that goes together, but it's actually not. In my family show, we dive into it way more than I think.
A lot. So does that mean the door is not closed, the door is open?
I like that, there you go. The door is not bolted. There is no bolt on it.
It's not even locked. But what are you thankful for now that you have kind of removed yourself from that lane of reality television?
Space and time to just be Porsha. Yeah, space and time to just be Porsha.
Well, let's talk about this good space that you're in with your new relationship with Simon, okay? Because you know y'all made headlines. You talk about breaking the internet. That picture of Simon and Dennis and you,
yes.
It was a wrap.
Yeah.
Child folks had their theories. We were dissecting it, blowing the picture up, looking like
that was showing itself online.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, y'all to create all kind of narratives.
Yes, yes. But people came for you and Simon on social media. They really did. And so what do you think is the biggest misconception about your relationship?
The biggest misconception is that someone would have done something to hurt someone.
Yeah.
Or that, you know, someone was obligated to something else and anything was broken. I mean, this is just a story of adults making adult decisions for themselves. In the show, Porsha's Family Matters, it really does dive into the details of how everything happened. So I mean, listen, I know the optics. I mean, when I was on Housewives, it is what it is.
Right.
We set up different things, not set up as in fake, but just what's a natural way to bring someone around and stuff like that. So it can make you think something other than what the reality is.
Yeah, to set the record straight, you're saying you were not friends with Simon's ex.
No, well, I want it to be.
Right.
I want it to be, but it's a common practice that if you're bringing someone new in, they have to be introduced by someone.
Yes, yes. I think one of the things that people talked about too, and your family talked about it last night on the show, was that this relationship moved really quick. Yeah. You know, and Dennis talked about it too.
It did.
Yeah, it moved really quick.
Yeah.
So why do you think that it went from like 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds?
Because I met a man who was at the same place that I was at the same time.
Okay.
Mentally.
Wanted the same thing.
Spiritually. And in love. You have to think about, for me to get to a place to walk away from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, walk away from Dish, put Porsha first, and really concentrate on what I want to do in my purpose faith walk. When you meet someone else at that exact same place, it's a powerful force. So as soon as we started talking, and you're talking to a man who has done 100 something or 100, what does I always say, 175 hours of therapy, and
wow.
has truly looked at all of his mistakes and have turned around to be for the better. When you meet someone in that space, you are going to be in kind, you know, like company.
He didn't give you an ultimatum of do Housewives or have this relationship. That was
Do
your
you
choice.
think the Porsha now would let somebody give them an
No,
ultimatum?
I don't.
Okay. Housewives has paid my bills for 10 years.
Yeah.
Ain't no man ever gonna come in my space and tell me what to do with my career. So absolutely not.
I will say, and you acknowledge this in the book, and I thought it was really nice, when you were saying thank you to people. You did say thank you, Dennis, for being an incredible father.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, even though our relationship did not work out, it's just, it doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Right.
It doesn't. It just meant that he and I weren't meant to be in a romantic relationship. But I do feel like co-parenting works best when you can look at someone like family. And I always wanted my daughter to have a close relationship with her father. We girls need our dads or father figures. And I love the dad that he is for Pilar.
Okay, last question, because the trailer gave us some moments. And one of those was, it looks like there's an epic throwdown fight.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's at the table and he's Mr. Tough Guy.
You ain't just get out of our business.
I'll take mentally stable for 200, Alex. Thank you.
And it ends with you like kind of screaming and, you know, being restrained. What happens?
Life, listen, sometimes with family, it can hit the fan.
Yeah.
There's no way that you are gonna have real healing and coming together, coming to Jesus' moment, and they're gonna hit the ceiling.
That's true.
And that's what happened. That was a part of the process that we were going through.
So everybody was kind of, it was that
It
come
was
to Jesus.
everywhere, okay? Everybody was everywhere.
And everybody's good though. I like seeing the new members of your family and your friends, so everybody's
Isn't that
good.
fun?
Yeah, it is.
Like, cause I feel like everyone has known me for so long, but like to see my sister, my aunts, and people you never knew,
Yeah.
Who are so close to me and know so much about me and not afraid to speak on me.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun.